Now that we have a clearer picture of the rest of Phase 5, going into Phase 6 for Marvel, there are questions that need answered. We actually have some pretty big issues here that is going to leave some of these Marvel properties on the wrong side of the fence. Welcome to the Multiverse, everybody. Jimmy here. And today we're going to look at Phase 5 and Phase 6 all the way up to the end of the Multiverse saga, all the way up to Secret Wars. And we're going to try to fill in the blanks. We have untitled Marvel movies, and they haven't given us confirmation, but the problem is there's more movies than spots. So something is going to have to give, and we're going to go over all of it on the roadmap today, leading all the way to Secret Wars and into the potential reboot of the MCU. And we've talked about that a little bit, and we may do another video on it. It may be up already, but there is going to be a reboot. Whether it's a hard reboot or a soft reboot, it is coming. And I don't know if we're going to go back to Phase 1 and completely start the MCU over, but we are definitely going to get a reset after Secret Wars. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name's Jimmy. Do me a favor. Make sure you guys drop a like if you enjoy the content and you are enjoying the content that's coming out daily. And make sure you're subscribed. We relaunched this channel with the sole focus of focusing on Marvel with other like-minded Marvel fans. And so far, the reception has been amazing. So I truly, truly appreciate that. So let's just jump into it. We'll start with Phase 5. A lot of Phase 5 is already out. We went through Ant-Man. That was kind of a fail. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it was good, but it didn't really live up to the hype that was set for it. Secret Invasion, we're not even going to talk about. Loki Season 2 was definitely a high point. The Marvels, What If Season 2, good. Echo, And then we get Deadpool and Wolverine, which to me, I'm not even going to try to rate it yet. I'm just going to let it sink in. I went and watched it for the second time with my two boys last night, and it was just as fun of a roller coaster ride as it was 3 days ago. So maybe we'll talk about that in my rankings down the road if that's a video you guys would like to see. But what's left on Phase 5? Well, Agatha All Along comes out September 18th on Disney+. And I'm not really... I just can't seem to get myself hyped for this. Now, everybody says if Scarlet Witch is not part of this at all, it's going to flop. I kind of agree with that. I mean, it's cool, and the memes of Agatha, it was her all along, I get it, but to culminate into its own show, and how does that actually weave into the fabric of the bigger picture when it comes to the Multiverse saga? I don't know. I feel like Marvel's really going to have to pull something out of their hat to make this one a success. Then we get into Captain America Brave New World, which is February 14th, 2025, and this one I'm very, very interested in. Not only for Anthony Mackie's full role as Captain America, but just to see how they're going to tie this in to the future moving forward. I'm also really, really interested in seeing Red Hulk. A little fun fact, if you don't know anything about Red Hulk, when he gets mad, he's not like the Green Hulk. He doesn't just get angry and get stronger. He actually gets hot. Yeah, literally gets hot, like on fire hot. But if he goes too far, he'll burn himself out. It's going to be interesting to see their take on Red Hulk. I'm really, really interested to see if he makes it all the way through the movie as well. Another much anticipated one is Daredevil Born Again, and that is March 2025 on Disney+. Everybody is looking forward to that one. And one that's not really getting talked about a lot is Thunderbolts, and it comes out May 2nd, 2025. I'm personally interested, especially with the cast changing of Sentry, and I really want to see what type of role Sentry plays if he makes it out of the movie. But I have a feeling he's not going to make it out of the movie. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those classic Marvel one-and-done villains, which is kind of wild because in the comics, Sentry is very, very strong. And if you don't know anything about him, basically started off good, and then he loses his mind. And all the predictions and theories for this movie are 3 acts, of course. In the first 2, he's good. He's with the Thunderbolts. And then Act 3 loses his mind, and his alternate personality comes out, which is the Void. It's a place you can actually go. And then all the Thunderbolts end up going there. We'll see. I have a feeling it's going to be one and done, but it should be a fun watch. And then Ironheart, which does not have a slated date for 2025 on Disney+. Not really excited about that one anymore. I was in the very beginning when they announced it, but I feel like they've just hit, I don't know. I feel like they missed the mark so far with the Ironheart appearances in Black Panther 2. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that one. But what really gets me is the fact that Thunderbolts comes out May 2nd, and then Fantastic Four kicks off Phase 6 July 25th. Just a little over 2 months in a gap there for two major Marvel movie releases, which really doesn't happen anymore, especially now that they're going with the 3 movies a year to go quality over quantity mindset. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But Fantastic Four kicks off our Phase 6 July 25th. This is where it gets kind of dicey and a little worrisome as well. So they have confirmed Blade is happening, and it's slated for November 7th, 2025. Here's the problem with that. I don't even think they have a director at this moment, do they? If they don't figure this out in like the next 2 months, there's no way we get Blade November 7th, 2025. And I really strongly feel that they put this on there and confirmed it, knowing in the back of their heads that there's a good chance that this isn't going to happen. I do, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So Blade November 7th. Then we have an untitled Marvel movie February 13th, 2026. We are going to fill in these gaps where we think these untitled Marvel movies will actually fall. Then we have Avengers Doomsday, which is May 1st, 2026. And then we have back-to-back untitled Marvel movies, July 24th, 2026, and November 6th, 2026. And then it culminates with Avengers Secret Wars, May 7th, 2027. Now, one thing to note right here is in that last untitled movie, which is November 6th, the gap there is all the way to May 7th for Secret Wars. So there is a big possibility, and I'll explain why, there could be a fourth untitled movie that gets thrown in between that November and that next year May gap. That's a big gap. That is an almost 8-month gap where they could put another movie in. And here's why they're probably going to have to use that. So you have 3 spots, but we're going to say you have 4 spots because I truly feel that Blade is not locked in. So what goes in those spots? Well, before we start with the movies, let's talk about the Disney Plus series, which don't have anything to do with those, but let's just get those out of the way. We know Vision is coming, 2026. They've talked about it. They've confirmed it. It's been a long time coming. We know Marvel Zombies is coming, another season of What If. Even Wonder Man is still in the works. And then we have a future season of X-Men 97. Now, they've talked about Nova, but I have a feeling it's going to get to the point where Nova gets shelved until the reboot. I just don't think we're going to see Nova before Secret Wars. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's a really good story. It could make a big impact on the new rebooted MCU as well, since they kind of missed it. I mean, let's be real. There's been 3 or 4 points of entry where Nova could have been put into the story for the MCU arc, and he wasn't. So I'd rather them not shoehorn him in, and we get him fresh with the reboot. So those are the series, the Disney Plus series that we could see over the next 3 years. But what about movies? Here's the problem. We don't know which one of these will be Spider-Man 4. We also don't know about Thor 5, Doctor Strange 3, Shang-Chi 2, and Armor Wars, which is now, yes, a movie, and it is still confirmed to be happening. So you have 3 untitled spots plus Blade. So let's just say in a perfect world that Blade does happen. Which of those 3 movies gets a spot? Well, I can tell you right now, Spider-Man 4 is locking up one of those spots, right? Definitely. I also feel like Doctor Strange 3 has to have one of those spots. Doctor Strange is probably the anchor being of 616 if there was one right now, and he is tied and weaved into absolutely everything moving forward. He is going to be a part of Secret Wars. There is no doubt in my mind. So you have 2. Then you have Thor 5 and Shang-Chi 2. If I had to pick one or the other, I would say if they had to make a move, they would do Thor 5. I do. It's the more recognizable property. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I feel like Thor is definitely going to play a part in the Secret Wars arc, whether it be with the Thor core or whether he ends up being Rune King Thor, whatever it may be. And I feel like Shang-Chi could get left on the outside looking in. Now, if they take out Blade and Blade doesn't happen, then you automatically get Shang-Chi in there. But then you also have Armor Wars. Where are you going to put that? I mean, it's really, really interesting to see because there are insiders saying that they think we're going to get 2 Secret Wars movies. We're going to get Avengers Doomsday and then Secret Wars Part 1 and then Part 2, maybe with a different title. So maybe that November 6, 2026 gap to May 7th, they put in the second Secret Wars. But what if they don't? What if they make a second Secret Wars, but it takes one of those untitled movie spots? That takes us down to 2 movie spots, not counting Blade. So now we have Thor 5, Spider-Man 4, Doctor Strange 3, Shang-Chi 2, and Armor Wars. But you only get to pick 2 of them. Which 2 go in? It has to be Spider-Man 4, we know that. And I really think it has to be Doctor Strange 3. That would leave Thor 5, Shang-Chi 2, and Armor Wars sitting on the outside looking in. That's the problem that I see with this 3-movie slate a year with everything they've built up and how they're trying to build up 2 Secret Wars. Does that mean Avengers Doomsday is going to be just cram-packed with storylines and fleshing characters out? It's probably going to have to be. So let me know what you guys think, because right now, there's a lot of questions and not really enough answers when it comes to the IPs that we are kind of expecting to see continued in the MCU. They've built out all these characters. They've started building out a lot of them. What are they going to do with them now? I have a feeling Blade's going to get the axe, and one of these movies is going to take that spot. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you soon.